One of the most important aspects to any successful relationship is communication. Well, let's welcome Christopher Connors, keynote speaker and author of Emotional Intelligence for the Modern Leader. It's good to have you with us.
Great to be here. Thank you, Layla.
So communication, kind of the cornerstone of any relationship if it is to function. And by that same token, if you're a bad communicator, it can hurt relationships.
Sure, and we're seeing now in the workplace the importance, so many more people are coming back. We're still dealing with a hybrid environment, and I think what I'm hearing is a lot of employers are trying to better connect with people, and the rules of the game have kind of changed.
Yeah, how have they changed?
I think for now, people are looking for what studies are showing, what I'm hearing each week in conversations I have is people want to feel a greater sense of belonging to their employers. They want to feel that their employers better understand them. And I think they're just looking for more personal connection. One thing I hear all the time in conversations is, I wish he or she took more time to get to know who I am as a person. So while we're always focused on executing in business results, a lot of the fuel that powers the engine comes back to building camaraderie, which is really built in the moments within the day, the little conversations that we're having with people.
You know, it's one thing to say, my door is always open, come on in, but what about leadership that goes out from their comfort zone to get to know people?
100%.
What's the best way to do that?
For me, it comes back to just one word that I talk a lot about with modern leadership. It's being assertive. It's taking the initiative. So we can look at it two ways, right? You can either plan and build these things in, or you can have more of these ad hoc, meeting over the water cooler types of conversations. Now, obviously, that all went away during COVID. Right. It's starting to come back. And I think deep down inside, whether we're extroverted or introverted, everybody is wanting more of those organic types of conversations. But assertiveness to me means taking time strategically as a leader at the beginning of the week and looking and building these conversations in, because if that's what your people want, make a little bit of extra time for that. It really adds up in the end.
And I know you hear from both sides. So what on the receiving end, the people, as we'll call them, what has been their response to someone who does go above and beyond, who does step outside and approaches, makes the first move?
Makes you feel good. We're always hearing as well about well-being. We hear wellness and well-being in the workplace is so important to people, right? So I think people feel more engaged. A lot of those buzzwords, but this stuff matters. Engagement, that leads to people wanting to stay around. Certain employers are making cuts now, but for the ones that have been able to keep people around, it's people that feel a greater connection. We hear that word belonging. People feel, hey, I know that they genuinely care about me. And beyond the hygiene factors of pay and title and work flexibility, we're looking for an employer who is genuinely invested. In leadership, just being authentic, and that works on both sides of it, being candid, just asking openly questions, not being afraid to just try to get to the truth of what's going on.
Yeah, that is a very good point. For leaders, though, who are faced with having to hand out those pink slips, any advice for them in which to help their employees then take that next step? So let's say what's done is done. How do they continue to be that leader even though they're not technically the boss anymore?
I think it becomes the transition from what we have are career development conversations when someone is employed to trying to honor and help that individual to that next phase. Indra Nooyi, who was the former CEO of PepsiCo, she was famous for saying, I'm going to honor you all the days of your career, not just here at PepsiCo, but beyond. And to me, what does that mean? I think to answer your question, it's I'm going to then help you land on your feet somewhere else. And if I'm a genuinely caring person, I'm going to stay connected with you. See me as a resource who can help you. That lives beyond the doors of this company. You
mentioned PepsiCo. That wasn't Joan Crawford who said that? I think she said something else at a board table, but we won't say those words on this air. All right. Thank you so much, Christopher. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Layla.
We're back after this.